Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my job shop. My name is Keith and I'm your host. Today we're going to be water jetting and manufacturing and probably a little silver soldering, and but we're going to be making up a pair of spanners for our packing nuts. All right, but before we get into that, I wanted to follow up a little bit on the Lyle drill sharpener rotational stop or guide. All right, here just a couple days ago, first off, I got inquiries on whether I'm going to make a few of these and sell these, and the answer is yes. I've already sent out a couple of the full-length flat-sided guides, which I favor, but since that time of me mailing those out, George Wallace from Tennessee actually sent me a JPEG of his virgin or non-marred up or destroyed stop. So I was able to go ahead and create a better representation of it. Now, right there you can see the ones with the arrows. The one on your left is the modified, and that's as close as I can duplicate to the original. The other is on the right is my flat-sided stop, and I favor it. Now, if you notice, the arrows are pointing out little teats that I put along the surface, and those little teats, of course, the one on the left there, you just got to line it up with that lower corner, but the teat on the top is there, and then the straight-sided one, you can see I got a teat on the top and a teat on the bottom, and you just go ahead and scribe it, and then you can sand or file those off. They're very, very minor, but they are there. So I have a sheet here. This is what I'm going to do. I don't really have a site on there or area for this. You're interested in, I'll send you a pair. I'll send you what duplicates the original, and I'm going to send you one that I like to use. I'll send them both, and I'll go ahead and throw in some of my brand new stickers. They're still the same stickers, but I had just received a new order, so I have them in stock, and I'll throw some of those in an envelope. That'll kind of keep everything thick, and it'll be able to ship right through the mail. Go to my website. On the upper right hand corner on the side there, you'll see sponsorship. Hit me at least 20 bucks in there. Put a little note in there, Lyle drill guide, and I will ship it right out. That way I got your address, and then I just put it on an envelope and ship it out to you. All right. Also, the two, Tom and Bob. I've already sent out one. I'm going to send you out the other one there because I want you to have the updated model here as well. All right. So just kind of a highlight of what's going on with that. Also, here by the end of the week here, I'm taking off for a couple weeks with Lisa, and we're gonna go Cape Verde Islands for a while. And anyhow, so I'll be out of commission. So I'll ship what I can until that time. After that, you'll have to wait till I get back for any shipments to happen. All right. Let's get going on our spanner wrenches. And I knew right away that we were going to need the right tool to be able to adjust these. Now I've turned some. Let me zoom you in here. All right, I went down to Ace Hardware and I got what they call it piano wire. You can tell by just putting it in a vise and putting a hacksaw against it there that this is tougher than regular mild steel. All right, you can cut a grade 5 bolt much easier than you can cut this stuff here as well. I picked up 2 different sizes because there's 2 different size pins that are in holes, 4 pins in the spanner nuts here. So I've already parted off several pieces here. I kind of bullnosed the end of one end and just kind of left the square. Still has my parting tool, little tit on the end there, that if I need to, I can grab it. Anyhow, I got them to fit in here nice, and I left them high enough because they're going to protrude into a horseshoe fork and then a handle. Okay, we took and we made drawings for each of our spanner wrenches that we're going to want to use. So we just kind of labeled out the OD, ID, the pin size and the pin diameter, or the hole pattern. Basically what we're making is, this is a Milwaukee wrench right here for your grinders, 4.5 inch grinders. And they have a pin spanner for that round nut that we all change or loosen and change when we got the wheel. Most of the time I actually had to go find this because I can grab the brake and I and a glove on a hand and I roll the wheel off and I'll loosen it and tighten it back on. So this doesn't even have a mar on it except for the dirt that's been laying in the box there. Anyway, it has a Milwaukee on there and it has a little hook there to hang it on there. I don't think I'm going to make a hold a hook to hang on my wrench there. But I thought how cool to go ahead and put Monarch in the middle of the wrench handle. So that's what I got planned out on mine. I've already got them drawn out. Alright, I've already drawn them out on Fusion 360 and I'm fed that into the WAM. Alright, and I fed it into the WAM already. Now I've got them stacked up here. I got a plate that basically goes over here. I'm going to cut out 2 and then we're going to put them together and we're going to get them made up. And if they're worthy of sharing the same tool for other Monarch owners, we'll have some area here to make a few more. All right, so now that we got that done, let's go on into the Wazer and cut them out. All right, for those of you that are watching me for the very first time using my Wazer water jetting machine here in my shop, I just want to let you know that I purchased this Wazer, and Wazer did sponsor some of my purchase price. All right, so we got a plate in here and we're going to just basically cut those 2 spanner wrenches right out of here. And let's go ahead and select file. Okay, spanners. Okay, yes. Okay, nozzle's lifted up. Okay, it's gonna home in there, and it should come somewhere over in this spot right here. Awesome. Okay. We already filled the abrasive, we've already checked the water, we've already fastened the bed to it. I've tried to go the other way around, and sometimes with this, if your material is back behind here and you want to get that back screw in there, you almost got to mount this in here. You can go through the steps twice, but these white lines on here really lay it out pretty straightforward. So you can pretty well put your plate in there before you get to this point. Okay, set nozzle height. Okay. This is the one of the most important things, and I find giving it a firm hold and a firm feeler gauge feel, that's all you need. Okay, cut material, closed door. I actually wish the thing had a windshield wiper on here, but it doesn't, and it's okay for today. All right. Okay, here we go. This is 12 gauge steel I'm making these out of, so that's 100,000 thick. So your pierce time is a little bit longer on this compared to the 25 thousandths drill guide for sure. But it gets the job done. We've made a test already, but this is the real test here on being able to cut out lettering within a part, along with just having general cuts for this thickness of material. And we pretty much put the hole size for the pins right at hole size, so we're probably going to have to hit them with the drill bit and clean them out. And we're going to want to chamfer them or just deburr the leading edge on both sides, because I'm going to silver solder those pins that I've already made into the handles themselves. And so having a little clearance and a little chamfer in there is good. We're going to silver solder those while they're installed in the nut itself, so that we ensure the alignment of those will work on down the road for many years to come, or however long it takes us to go through and need to adjust those new 3D printed rubber seals we're making. So anyway, we're going to come back to this because I'm not going to stand here that long either. All right, let's get a peek at this. Woo, baby. All right, we got quite a bit. When you got a lot of piercing, I noticed that you get a lot of garnet all over the top. Okay. All right, so let's rinse off our plate here. Cool. All right, our lettering and everything else looks good in there. Parts look good in general. Boy, steel does rust up quite a bit, or fast, when there's just water on it. And all right, we're gonna go ahead and get our screw gun, and we need a little air nozzle to blow out the Phillips head. I've kind of noticed that. Just makes it easier instead of fighting the sand in those little took our drill and just went through and gave a little chamfer so that we knew our pins would slip in there fairly easy. And then this one is for this size here. Well, I might have to hit that one a little bit after our chamfer. It might have tightened up a little bit. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and take a little Scotch-Brite and we're going to take that little rough burr off the back side there. The lettering came out pretty good. The C, these two little pierce points here are basically supposed to be little square blocks, but we're just not, this is pretty small. That looks pretty good. For a non-stenciled letter design, that printed out pretty good. Okay, we're gonna, after our silver solder, we're probably gonna sandblast these, and then we can give them a clear coat or something like that after we're all said and done, and we'll kind of leave them natural color like that. All right, and I'll give you a close-up of the actual cut finish on the side here, and the lettering. Okay, we're getting ready to go here, and I just added in some water into my silver solder flux. And that's the brand I'm using. And then this is my coil of silver solder here. And that's the brand. Hey, things wear out, okay? Your white paste. And this is just an A60 or A50, I believe, on the alloy of silver solder. Okay. Let's change these around because these are the fat ones here. And radiuses are going to go down. The name's going to be on the top of the wrench. Okay. You don't need a whole bunch, but you do need it to be on the surfaces that you're trying to solder together. So after you get it in there like that, okay, we're ready for some heat here. We're gonna do one. We'll do one at a time here. So while we have it set up. Okay, that should be hot enough to. That flowed in real nice. And when we flip it over, we'll get a chance to see it on the other side. Oh yeah, nice. Yep. Okay, it's hot, but it fits. First step. All right, let's do the second one here. And turn it over, and the square side goes down. There we go. Okay, wipe off the excess. Perfect. Oh, and of course, fit test. These holes were a little sloppier just because this is the closest pin for this diameter here, and these were drilled like oversized a little bit. And it's amazing that they drilled these that size in these, and they're pretty, they are close. They're a close, tight, and fit hole, even one pin on there. There's only about 3/1000 clearance on these pins here, so that's pretty close for a spanner. All right, I'm going to be happy with that. The only difference between this and a regular spanner is these wrenches are made specifically to go around that size shaft and hit these holes. All right, the pins are real close to the inside radius there versus being center on the fingers. All right, and I think we're going to put a bend. We want to put like about an inch jog in this handle so that your hands can be a little bit away from the gearbox when you're using a wrench. We'll put them in a vise and tweak them a little. All right, we're going to go ahead and go for the small one first because it has a shorter distance between the spanner circle and the lettering here. So let's take, and we're going to clamp it in our vise. Yeah, there's really no new smooth spot there at all. All right, we're just going to kind of eyeball that up like that. All right, and we're going to want to bend it this way first, about like yo, and then I think we want to grab it like right there. That looks pretty good. right on the M there. Yeah, and we might put it in a machinist vise and we'll clamp that down just a little bit there. All better. All right, we'll re-sandblast it just to take those marks off of there, and then it'll be blended in real nice. Okay, let's go ahead and let's do our next one here. And like that, and like that. That looks pretty good. All right, let me blast those, and then let's go try them out on the project. Let's go ahead. This big one, I already got the ring in here on this shaft here, and it fits right in. See, that's the secret to these, is that they fit around the shaft that we're actually fitting on. All right, and it is out here. Of course, this gearbox is going to be like this, so I'm going to probably be working these up here in relationship to this. And of course, these arms won't be on here, but I'll be working this face. All right, so I got enough. I can't turn it with one hand, but I can turn it with two hands. So I'm putting enough squeeze on that seal. And we're printing up plenty of these seals. We're making some solid, some hollow, and we've got some in the Kimya material, and we got some in the Ultimaker material. And we're going down to get more jars because you guys have just told me almost every liquid that of course, I'm not going to go buy any liquids that I don't actually have, but I have so many of the liquids that you guys are talking about, and brake cleaners and all the harsh elements around where you might be cleaning as well as what you're going to be servicing with it. And I also have DOT3 brake fluid and things like that. So we're going to add quite a bit more to the chemical testing of this. We still have a long ways before this is all going to be going back together and stuff. And I just want to hit on some of the tooling that I need to go ahead and put it together. And every time I work a little bit on here, I get to brainstorm, and then some of my new pieces of equipment are doing the job for us. All right, so that one fits on there really well, and I just put the 7/8 shaft back in here. And this also lets me know the surface distance in and out of here, because I'm gonna be these seals we know all shrunk about 30 thousandths. Each one of them is shrunk. The OD and the ID equally has shrunk 30 thousandths plus or minus 2 on every single seal that we've done. All right, so we're going to be drawing in, and we're just going to draw up a seal in a larger dimension and know that when it shrinks it will be the finished size. The main thing is with 30 thousandths, these have play on the outside, and they're darn tight on the outside of the shaft. They're pretty tough to get on there. All right, and we want it to slip in place, and then all the compression be the seal of it. And we have also this one here has a seam in it. We've taken we're adjusting all different settings, and we're coming up with better prints and less stringing. And we notice also, if we print just one part, we don't have as much stringing as if we have a whole bunch of parts strung together. Also, start and stop staggering, and then we get rid of the seam. So we have been experiencing all those things that have been put in suggestions, and I thank you very much for all your suggestions. All right, back to what I was doing here. This 65-year-old mind gets fucking cool. Okay, and the same thing there. Oh, I can still turn it by hand. We'll be testing out the strength of our thing too. All right. I think we're pretty happy with our new little Monarch spanner wrenches here. Pretty cool stuff. There's a center shaft that we're coming up with a different design because it's basically almost a shell, and it's not going to do it with a pin. So it may have to be a cylindrical tube and some milling done, or it's going to have to be a flat bar, and then these are going to have to be bent in to where it is it's almost like a screwdriver slot in a tube. That's my best explanation. It's not a spanner hole type of. Cool. We're wrapped up on that. I was noticing a little bit of bleeding out from these little rivet holes here. Again, with some oil on the surface. I acetone wiped this the other day, and it kind of like brought it back to finish, just like this. It dried it out. I'm gonna have to spray inside the hole some acetone and get whatever oil surface or whatever's inside is bleeding out, because it's just on the surface. It's not actually soaked into the paint. But these are the kind of things that you'll slowly work on, and if you let that go, it will be underneath your paint job, and it will create an area that won't want to stick paint. We had another one that was up here, and this kind of really dried up, so we kind of got it out. We didn't flood these with any kind of oil or anything, to get them out. But that doesn't mean that oil from the years getting in behind this nameplate and then getting down into those bores. All right, so it's not necessarily. It's just we're going to have to control it, but you can see it in the camera too, I'm sure. Next, I'm going to be investigating sight glass material, and we're going to be cutting out some sight glasses. We need one here, and there's two or three other spots on the lathe there. The apron and the quick change gearbox, I think, both have sight glasses as well. And we're going to see what we can do about making new sight glasses for those. And we do have to come up with some kind of gasket. They had cork gaskets in here. So we might be laminating and trying our bit at gaskets as well. All right, before we go, I just want to remind you one more time, if you want to pick up some more or some of those stops that I've made for the drills on the Lyle grinders, front page of my website, up on the right hand corner, there's a sponsorship there. Hit the $20 or more and make a little note in there that you're interested in one of the Lyle drill stops, and I will get one in the mail to you. All right, and don't forget, this Thursday I'm taking off for a couple weeks, so we'll see you in November. All right, until next time, get her done.